Just before we start, just to bear with me, I'm fighting a cold at the moment that I caught from my 3-year-old, bless his heart. So if I sound a bit Barry White-ish, I do apologise. But in this video today, we will be looking at the Skunk Works FIAT Aeritalia G.91 Gina. Now, as you can see, laid out in front of you, I've had it set up with the one of the liveries of the two G91s that were evaluated by the United States Army, and as I thought it was fitting, as we are at RAF Lakenheath today, which the scenery dropped not long ago. I'll add the link to that in the description below. But anyway, on with the review. As you can see, the outside modelling is absolutely superb. I don't expect anything less from Skunk Works. They have done some fantastic aircraft in the past for FSX. I owned their F-84, and it was just an absolute beast. Very detailed and very well made. And this is no slouch in that department either. Deliveries top notch. The modelling, everything about the aircraft itself, absolutely brilliant. It looks the part, and yeah, very well done indeed. So obviously, those of you that know anything about the Gina will know that it was powered by Bristol Siddeley Orpheus, which powered the fallen Gnat, and the very strange and very wonderful Hunting H125, I believe it was, or was it 126? I think it might have been 126 actually. Yeah, that was a very strange aircraft, and I recommend having a read up on that if you ever get the time. But again, on with the review. So yeah, I don't know why the Americans evaluated this and didn't keep their F-86Ds in service. I mean, it's basically, well, it looks to me like a North American F-86D Sabre Dog. I don't know if that was a sort of, they got a bit of inspiration from the design of that at the time when this was being thought out. Differences being, this is quite a rugged machine. It was built for short field capability and semi-prepared airstrips, so the airframe and the undercarriage are pretty rock solid, and also has a drag chute for landing as well. As with other Skunk Works aircraft, this has the ability to drop ordnance. I've not really got into that at the moment because I don't feel that this version of Flight Simulator is ready for that sort of thing at the moment, so I've given that a miss. But you can change things on the fly. It has its that's a fee file. It has its own little add-on app thing here where we can change it on the fly. So we've got just a couple of bags there, but we can change it to smaller bags, or we can, change it for some bombs or some rockets if we feel the need is there. But again, that's all there ready for you to use. And maybe some napalm even. And also for the position and heading indicator navigation, this is where you'll select the LN3 file for it. So that's another thing to bring up in a different video. But we'll stick with napalm, as I'm not actually going to fly. I've already got a video prepared for that, so I'll merge that shortly. But this is just to mainly have a good look at the aircraft on the outside, and to also have a look at the office, give it a good look. My graphic settings aren't the greatest, so what you see isn't exactly what you get. It can be made to look a lot better, so just to pre-warn you. And so we'll jump into the cockpit. Alright, so we're in the cockpit. As you can see, everything's modelled and textured lovely. Great with look, and just very simplistic. The design of the aircraft was just get some bombs on it, get it out there, bomb, come back. In the field repairs, just it's one for taking a lot of hits. So there wasn't a lot of sophisticated tech on board. There is a Doppler radar on board that it's used with the position and heading indicator, and basically what that does is you plot in. Down here you've got 5 waypoints, if you like. What you do is you plan that in advance, get the coordinates. You do have to do some conversions, so you're going to have to do a bit of work if you're going to use the PHI, but it's very worthwhile getting into, and it's dead reckoning as well, so it's from one straight line to another, usually having to take into consideration wind direction and speed and things like that, so it can be a lot of fun. The other way of getting around is via NDB, non-directional beacon, and using the ADF here. So that's all tuned in down here. So you do all of that via this here. And obviously you need to switch it on. You've got your drag chute. And like I say, it's very simplistic. Just flicking on the servos, inverters, battery, flicking all the jet pipe temperature limiter and your fuel pump and obviously your master ignition. Flick the guard up, push the button, and the engine will get started. And what I will do is I'll get that going now, just so that you have an idea of what the aircraft actually sounds like. There we go. That did sound like a cartridge start. I believe the Orpheus was cartridge started. I can't remember off the top of my head, to be honest. But yeah, it's an old aircraft, so it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. So yeah, flicking on all your inverters and things. Obviously, why would I do that? So making sure that the canopy is locked before takeoff, and things like that. Yeah, let's go on the outside and have a listen. Sounds really good. Dynamic sounds in the cockpit as well. Very good. So there you go. The sounds are pretty top notch, as is to be expected with this. Flick the canopy open with that switch. I will say that when you power down, like I just have, I mean there is no turbo winding down or anything like that. It's pretty much sound off. That is one criticism I do have of the aircraft at the moment. Also, I'm guessing it's just the aircraft's characteristics, but it's very how can I put it? Like tail heavy. Feels like if you pull too hard, you sort of get a pendulum effect, like you would in a Porsche 911. Feels like there's a lot of weight in the back, and if you're not paying attention, it will bite back and can cause you issues. So that's one thing I would say to look out for. But most aircraft, I believe, have their vices to a certain point. You push the envelope too hard, you can get busted. But yeah, you know, what else can I say? Very nicely done. Very for 18.99 as well. British pounds, absolute fantastic value. You get a lot for your money. A lot to keep you busy in the cockpit, especially with the PHI, getting the calculations and things like that. That's another bit of fun in itself. So yeah, what I'll do now is I shall transition into the flying part of the video. I took it through the Mach loop, had a lot of fun through there in it. Handles really well at low level. You really feel the bumps sometimes, but anyway, enough talking while I'm on the ground. Let's get into the air. So here we are inside the aircraft now, flying into the loop. It handles really well low level. Once you get the engine settled and surfaces trimmed out, it's a great little performer. It does glide like it's on rails sometimes if the back end's not deciding it doesn't want to stay with you. So I mean, considering the engine is an Orpheus, it does its job pretty good on what I would consider quite a heavy airframe for the engine. But funnily enough, the Orpheus further down the road becomes the core for the Rolls-Royce Pegasus. So obviously it's a lot tougher and a lot more rugged than first thought. But yeah, you do have to fight with it sometimes to keep it level. The trimming can be a bit of a pain, but I mean that's what I like about it. It's a very hands-on aircraft. You really have to sort of be one with the machine, if you like. None of this fly-by-wire, you know, autopilot. That's another thing. It doesn't have an autopilot. It doesn't have an instant landing system. It doesn't have the ability to track VORs. So it's a very basic aircraft indeed.
Manchester Center Pirate
You need to know what you're doing when you're flying it. I'm not saying that I'm an expert or anything, but you need to know navigation. You need to know how to fly in the circuit. And this aircraft will drop like a stone if you don't get it prepared properly. That's another thing. Prepping for landing can be a bit of a pain. Even I crashed it about 5 or 6 times when I first got it. There's like 10 stages of flap, I believe, and if you drop all of those too quickly, then you can run into trouble. I mean, you have to bring the aircraft under 180 knots to bring the gear down, and then start bringing the flaps down. Then you have to power up to 65% to keep the speed from dropping. So again, you're fighting to keep the thing in the air once all the surfaces and the gear is down. So again, another challenge, but that's all the fun of flying. And this aircraft really does give you a lot of challenges. It's quite rewarding to fly. I would thoroughly recommend it if you like your military aircraft. Even if you don't, and you want to change from the norm of high-flying civil life, get down here in the weeds and fly something that you might as well have a tin can on a piece of string to contact ATC with. It's brilliant. I can't say anything too negative about it, because there aren't really many negatives to say. The sounds, the shutdown sounds, could do with tweaking, and the startup sounds, I guess, it sounds like the engine starts way too quickly than it would. But then again, I'm not an Orpheus expert, so it could actually be the way that it starts. But definitely the shutdown sounds need tweaking. It doesn't sound like the engine shuts down at all, it just sort of disappears out of existence. Other than that, it's great fun. Well worth the money. I know I said that about the Hawk, but sorry, the Goshawk. So yeah, this aircraft is very good. I'm looking forward to Skunk Works TF104. Just looking at the updates on that, that's going to be an absolute beauty. So yeah, like I say, if you want a challenge, and this thing is a challenge, trust me, then get it. Your PHI navigation will give you a lot of work just to get the 5 waypoints into place. Following and flying the PHI navigation isn't too difficult. It's just flicking a button and following the indicator needle, just like you would on an ADF. And the landings are quite difficult. Other than that, it's really, really good fun to fly. So anyway, I'm fed up with repeating myself now, but yeah, go out and get it. It's great value and highly recommended. So if you got this far, thank you for listening to my slowly disappearing voice, and yeah, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.